have your plan A, have your plan B, have your plan C if you don't intend to go back home now. So one of such options is to think of. You're highly welcome back to my channel. Yeah, I know it's been a while, about 2-3 weeks. I showed my face on this channel, and we all know that a lot of things, a lot of reforms are currently going on in the United Kingdom. And if one is not mentally and physically strong to absorb some of this information, might be very, very challenging. So as we all know that the United Kingdom is trying as much as possible to cut down net immigration, and as a result, they brought out 5 plans to reform and reduce the number of immigrants that are coming in. Or let me just say, the information they refuse to share is that they are even looking for ways to send some people back home who are already here. So, they came out with the 5 plans agenda, and I made a video regarding it. If you haven't watched it, you can do well to watch it. And one of those plans was to stop care workers from bringing in their dependents, to increase the minimum threshold that people earn as income under skilled work visa. And also it also affected the family visa. They are trying so much to reduce the number of people that are getting married to citizens for the purpose of becoming citizens as well. I think that's just, in summary, that's just what the 5 plans agenda is. Initially, we didn't know what days all these things were going to come into effect. The only thing we knew was that, okay, starting from January this year, 2024, students would no longer be able to bring in their dependents. And if they're already here before the 1st of January 2024, they might still be able to bring in their dependents, provided that their visa is still long enough. The duration, the time on their visa is still long enough. The government has already come out with some official date as to when some of these 5 plans are going to take effect, and one of such is that on the 11th of March, care workers who are applying for their visas starting from 11th of March would no longer be able to bring in their dependents into the UK to accompany them to come and work. And also starting from 4th of April, the minimum threshold for skilled workers, except care workers, the minimum threshold is going to be £38,700 annually. However, they have also been considerate enough to say, okay, this increase is a really abrupt one. So what we're going to do is that we're going to increase it to £29,000 minimum threshold starting from April 4th. So if your company is going to be sponsoring you as a skilled worker starting from April 4th, 2024, your minimum threshold should be like that, 29,000. But then that's not all. The government has promised to actually increase this minimum threshold to £38,700 gradually, and they haven't really announced how and when they are going to reach that peak of 38,700. So as a result, the government has also announced that February 19th, they are going to come up with more details regarding how all these things are going to come into effect. But in this particular video, I'd just like to mention a few things that you can do. Maybe you're a student and you're not graduating before the 11th of March 2024, or if you're a care worker or a senior carer whose visa has expired or is going to expire after the 11th of March. Perhaps you're already here with your dependents and you're really confused as to what to do. So I'm going to be analyzing some of the things that I particularly and personally think that you can do, some of the options that you can explore. That's what I'm going to be discussing in this video. So if this is something that you would like to know about, why not just like this video, subscribe to this channel and turn on your notification, and don't hesitate to share the video out because it might be very useful to somebody out there. My name is Bimbo. I'm a Nigerian trained pharmacist and a UK care assistant. So one of the things that I think you can explore as a student, if you're not going to graduate before March 11th, or if you've already graduated and you're on post-study work visa, or you're still currently looking for a job to sponsor you, whether in care or in any other sector, one thing that I think you can do is to have multiple options. So have your plan A, have your plan B, have your plan C if you don't intend to go back home now. So one of such options is to think of progressing in your academic career, like applying for a PhD, because the government has said if you're going to be doing research program, research postgraduate program, either research PhD or whatever, you'll still be able to have your dependents with you. And I learned that as a student, you cannot finish one master's and say you want to do another master's. That's possible back home, but yeah, that's not possible. There has to be like a progression in your academics. You're done with the masters in this particular sector. While you're applying for another admission, it should be for like a PhD or something. So you can consider that for now and put in your application before it is too late. And also another option I think you can explore is if you're on post-study work visa, you can actually go on summer vacation to some other countries, what I mean, for vacation if you've got family members there. And when you get there, you can try and start all over again. You can start life all over again, if you know what I mean. So that's another option that you can explore. You can go to the United States. I think that place is more accommodating than this place, like I have heard from many people. You can just take a break and travel there during the summer, or even now, stay with your family members, and then take your drawing table, your drawing board, and re-strategize. You know what I mean now. So that is another option I think you can explore. And another thing that I think you can do, if you have your dependency already as a student, you can try to get your dependents to get a job that would sponsor them. And when they are sponsored, you become the dependent and you are still a student. While you're still studying, you cannot switch to your dependent tier 2 visa. However, you can also continue to look for a job that would also sponsor you after you're done with school. And once you're done with school, if you're not okay with the company your dependent is working with for one reason or the other, you know what I mean, your partner can then switch to your own visa after you get a reliable and a genuine job to sponsor you after your study. So that's another option. And one last thing I would like to talk about students is that for you people that are still back home, not yet in the UK, or you still want to come and study in the UK, I would advise you personally, if you want to choose a course to come and study, please be very, very strategic about the course you would come and do as a master's student. Ensure that that course allows you to, do some practical aspect of the course. Like, it should be a course that involves placement or internship or whatever you call it. If it is a course that involves placement, you are sure that for 1 year you would have like another 1 year placement where you would earn, and apart from that you gain some UK experience. And while you're on your placement, you can start looking for a job to sponsor you, because you're already gaining UK experience. You already have an employer to reference you. So be very strategic about the course. Like I mentioned in one of my videos, I have a friend that is currently doing business analytics on master's level, and for some people, they'll still be going to school and be doing care job on the side. But for my friend, one thing that I really love about what she's doing is that she looked for a volunteer job with NHS. She actually told me she did it like she was applying for a real job. That was how she did for the volunteer job, and she got it. She's volunteering twice a week at NHS. She's not being paid, but she's gathering the experience. And I bet it with you, by the time she's done with school, they likely are going to retain her. She would have graduated and become a business analyst. And with all the experience she has gathered, they might not likely want her to leave. They just retain her and she'll be sponsored automatically. So that's another option that you can explore. If you're a care assistant in the UK and your visa has expired, your BRP has expired, and you're at a fix right now, or your visa is going to expire before the 11th of March, or it's going to expire after, maybe just this year, and you're confused as to what to do, what next step to take, here are some of the things that can advise you to do. First is that there's something called visa extension. And there are two types of visa extensions. The first one is the one you see on the UK Gov. That visa extension, you can pay a sum of about 280 something pounds to extend your visa for a short while. However, there are two types of ways you can do the extension on the UK Gov. First way is that you can actually extend your visa and apply to come for capturing online or offline, like you go to the visa office to do your BRP capturing, or you actually do your capturing online. I'm made to understand that if you do your capturing online, you're likely to get a response from the Home Office almost immediately, because things are done online here and it makes life a lot easier. However, if you decide to do your capturing offline by picking a date to go for your capturing, your BRP capturing now, it simply means that you're buying more time, because they would give you, after you have done your application, after you filled the forms and all that, they'll now give you some dates to pick from, and they'll give you like an ultimatum that, okay, you have to come for your capturing on or before this so date. And most often than not, it takes about 2 months. You have like the liberty to wait for like 2 months before you go for that physical biometrics capturing. So in other words, that's buying more time than doing it online. And these two types are if you're going to be extending on the UK Gov. The second kind of extension is the one that you're going to contract out to a solicitor. A qualified and licensed solicitor in the UK can help you do that kind of extension. I don't know so much about that, but I know that it's more expensive to do that kind of extension. However, you are likely to get more time. You're likely to buy more time, like say 6 months or even up to 2.5 years. The government can give you up to that amount of time. And while you are on that extension, you are no longer restricted to work in care. You can choose to do any other kind of job, as long as that job is going to sponsor you. So if you're on that kind of extension, the solicitor kind of extension, and let's say for instance you have been given like 2.5 years under that kind of extension, you have been given 6 months, and you have some skills. Maybe you have tech skills. Even within 2.5 years, you can learn the tech skills and look for a job to sponsor you under another skilled work aside the care, because we now know that if you're going to be working in care and you're going to be applying for a visa on and after March 11th, you won't be able to remain with your dependents, and you won't be able to bring in dependents if they are not here already. So you can now, under that extension, look for another job that can sponsor you. I know it's not as easy as I'm saying it, but it's an option. So talking about these two kind of extensions, the third option that you may have, that I think you have, is to get a sponsored job before the 11th of March. And that seems almost impossible, because the people who are not currently in the UK won't really understand how difficult it is to get a sponsorship within the UK as I speak to you now. And that's one of the reasons why I stopped making videos. I don't want to mislead people, telling you, oh, yeah, this company is sponsoring, this company is sponsoring, whereas they are not. So on the UK Gov, the government made us realize that people who are currently on the care route, or people who are changing employers, or people who are on extensions, would not be affected by this new immigration rule that says from 11th of March, you would not be able to come with dependents, or your dependents will not remain if you're going to be switching to care routes. So if you have been a care worker before, if you have been on the care route before, and then maybe your visa expires, and you're not hearing positively from your employer as to whether they're going to renew, or maybe you're trying to change employer, and Home Office is doing their thing, taking a lot of time to do their due diligence before they approve the COS for your employers. This is one thing that you can explore, and that is the extension, because they said if you're an extension, that immigration rule might not affect you. So thank you guys. I hope to see you in my next video.